Hello everyone, welcome back to the 𝐼𝐲𝐝 YouTube channel. PowerPay have just dropped a new update in the recent month. So they have added a new cool feature in the list slicer. So let's check it out and see how exactly it's working. So in this update, the list slicer have a major overhaul. So here's a quick breakdown. What are the things they've added? They have added a nested field. They have added a image labels. They have added a state formatting. And the last thing which they added is a paste functionality. Let's go one by one and see how exactly it's working. So as you can see, this is one demo I have created. If you can see the image of the manager name, and on this manager, these are the employees that are working. So if you come over here, see James Anderson is the manager name. So if you come over here, these are the employees that are working under this manager. So you can also create these slicers and see how it's working. So for that, you need to come to this particular insert visual option. In this visual option, come drop down, and you can see there's a slicer section. Under this slicer section, you can find the list slicer. Now, once you have dropped the list slicer, you need to drop the fields. So let's say I drop the field of a manager name. So as you can see, I can see the manager name, but I want to add another label under each manager, their employee's name. They are working. So if I click on the manager name, so you can see there's a one button which will added, which is a expand and collapse button. So if you click on the expand button under this manager, these are the worker, they are working. So if we are going to click this one, it will select all the managers, all the employees, which is the, I have selected the brain wisdom. So let's remove this slicer and see how exactly it's working. Now once you have dropped this one, and if you come to this format option, there are a lot of tons of formatting you can do. So first is the style, size and style. You want to move the slicer, the height and the weight of the slicers. Now there's something called a title. If you want to add a title, let's say I don't want a title, so I turn it off the title. The Latin setting is a single select. If you want a selections based on a single select, 4 selections, show select all option, and they have introduced something new which is called a district to leaf nodes. Now what do you mean by that? If you're going to turn it off, it will granularly select the last slicer option in your slicer setting. Now third thing is that shape. What are the shape you want? Let's say I want a round rectangle, and you can play with the corners and the custom size. And there's something called a layout. In this layout, what are the buttons? How many buttons you want? Let's say I want a 6 button. And what are the space that you want to give between these buttons and the overflow. Now the important one, which is the call out values. In this call out values, there are tons of options available are there. So first thing is like normal slicer, you can filter, apply the call value or based on all the values on the manager level or on the employee level. So before that, let me introduce the data which we have. We have a data of employees ID, the name of the employees, job title of the employees, the manager ID and the salary. And this manager table, we have a manager ID, manager name and the image of the manager. So if you can see the manager ID and in the manager table and in the employees ID and the manager table, it's a common column. So I've connected with this in the data tables, okay, based on the common column. So now I have a relationship between them. Now what I want exactly is that, let's say I want in the manager level, if I'm going to hover my cursor into the slicer, I want to make it bold. So I will click on the all button, and then I don't want my bold should be work on the entire data. Let's say I want to work on the manager level. So if I'm going to select manager level, there's something called a state. Now which state you want to make the changes? Do you want in all state, rest state, hover state, press state or select state? Now these are the state level. Now if you click on the advanced option, now you got an amazing feature which is called expansion state and the interaction state. So these are the some advanced stuff that you can play around, and you can make a combination on the filtering in the callout values. So let's say if I'm going to select on the manager level, I want to make it as a bold. So as we can see, all the manager got bold. Let's say I don't want to select all the manager on the board. Let's say if I'm going to selected one should be got bold. So if you come over here, if you select this, it turned bold. Let's say I want to add one more thing. If I'm going to hover it, that should be also bold. So if you come over here, I'm hovering it, so it's making the bold. Okay. So this you can play around in the slicer. Let's say I want to do with the employee level as well. So as you can see, employee is not working because I'm only done with the manager level. So if I'm click on the employee's name, I want, if I'm going to select this one, they should also got bold. Okay, similarly, if I want to hover it, hover should be also bold. Now I'm removing the slicer, and you can see it's working for the manager and it's working for the employees level as well. So this is a add level that you can do, and you can play around with the slicer settings. So this is a callout value. So one more interesting feature in this callout value, if you come drop down, there's something called of labels. Now in this label, if you turn this on and if you drop down, what are the labels do you want? Let's say I want in the employee's name, if you come over here, it should add their job title under each employee's name. So I've selected the employee's name, and in this add label, what I'm going to do, I will drag this job title and paste over here. So once I've pasted the title over here, and if I remove this one, and if you see, if I'm hovering it, I can see the title of the employee. So as you can see, I got the job title of under each employee. If you come over here, job title of the each employee. Let's say if you don't want to hover it, then you can make it as an all state. In all state, you can also do the same thing, and in the label you can turn it off, and in this off you can remove put the job title as well. So as you can see, all the job titles now working for each employee. Now let's go back to this where we are, and let's say the interesting thing which you can do is that you can add a layout when you want. You can change the position of the title if you want it above, below, that you can play around with this slicer setting. Now something which is very interesting they have launched, which is a image. Now if you come to this image section, let's say I want in all level, I want to put image. So as you can see, I have an image URL in my image table. To come over here and add a field which is related to the image, and I'm going to drop this image URL. Now once I've dropped this image URL, it's saying full. I want to make a fit, not a fit. Let's make it a full, and the size I want 150. Let's make it as a 20. Perfect. So once I've got a 20, as you can see, my images also seeing looks good, and I can see the name as well as the image of the particular manager. Now what I want exactly is that if I'm going to select this manager, it's got bold, but I want to create something where I'm done with this saturated, where I'm going to select this should be in color and the rest should be in the black color. So how you can do that? So if you come over here, and if you come to this in manager level, there's something called all option. In the all option, I didn't add any images, so I want make it as a saturated. Okay, in the all option, but when I'm going to select anything from my manager, I want the saturation should be the 100%. Now if you come over here, select anything, the one that you have selected got in full color, and the rest will be in the 0% saturated. So if you click over here, see, it's working perfectly. If I'm going to click, all the slices will be selected. So this is the interesting feature that comes in the Power BI, which I have loved it. Now the another which is very important and which I find very important quietly, which is the paste functionality. For example, let's say you have a data in this particular tab. You want to filter based on this particular manager name and the employees. So what you can do with that? You can copy paste the data into the notepad, or you can have in this notepad and copy it over here and come to this part, remove this filter, and there's something called paste. Now once you click on the paste button, you can see all the value that was in notepad got selected in this particular slicer. Sound interesting, right? So let's create another slicer. Let's check it out how it exactly is working. So what I'm going to do is that I will create a new slicer, and in this slicer, what I'm going to do is that I will drop the employee's name. Okay, perfect. Now once I've got this employee's name, let's say you have hundreds of employees name. So you cannot select one by one. So you can have a list of the employee's name in this particular notepad, and if you copy this name of this employee's name and come over here, you can press the Control V, and that also works for you. As you can see, it automatically selected all the selected value which is we have in the notepad in now into my slicer. Or you can do is that you can just make a size little bit, come over here and something called a paste. Sound interesting, right? I have tried with Excel as well. So for the Excel, it didn't work. I don't know what I'm doing wrong or right. So if you have an Excel list, if you were trying to paste over here, it will not work. You need to paste in the notepad and then it will work. For the granularity level, for example, for the granularity level, let's say if I want to filter this Linda Thompson, what I need to do is that I need to write over here the name of the Linda Thompson, and after that you need to press tab. Now once you press tab, now you are allowed to write any label, add label name that you want to filter out. Let's say in the Linda Thompson, I want to filter the Lily Mitchell. So you need to be more careful when you are writing it or you're doing a copy paste. Now let's say it's working, paste special. Now you can see it's working. So this is the new slices that I've introduced. So I hope you guys find this video useful. So if you want this file, I've given in the description. You can go ahead and download and try check it out, this new slicer, and also going to upload this Power BI file so you can play around. So I hope you guys like this video. Follow for more.